Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please go to change.org, hit that link in the description, and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, today I want to talk to you about the white supremacists trying to save face. And in particularly, I'm speaking about the Democrats. And I believe the Democrats are out here trying to save face because the black grassroots have been handing them L after L after L. And they can't stand that those L's are coming from us. Now, they could take it if the L's were coming from, the white boys or, the Latinos or something like that. They could take it. But all of the data shows that we've been handing them all of these L's they've been taking. No matter what it was, whether it was Kamala out here trying to pretend to be black, whether it was these illegals coming in and they were sitting there trying to convince us that these people were war-torn and we got to have a heart to take care of these people, all while our people were out here dying in the streets. We called out everything. And so I believe that the Democratic Party is so unhappy with us that they're out here trying to save face. They're trying to show their ass before they leave office. And over the past week or so, we've seen a couple of things come out. And I want to discuss those couple of things. First, let's talk about the Jordan Neely trial and how every situation in this trial was white supremacists getting on code with other white supremacists. From the ruling that his confession would not be admissible to the ruling that led to his manslaughter charges getting thrown out. Really, it wasn't even a ruling. That wasn't even supposed to happen. That manslaughter charge was not supposed to get thrown out. In case you didn't know, last week on Friday, the jury was deadlocked on the manslaughter charges. Now, I'm still trying to find out the makeup of the jury. We just know that it was 7 women and 5 men. However, that was not supposed to happen. The charges getting thrown out like that. Usually what happens is a mistrial is declared on that charge. And that way it gives the DA an opportunity to bring that charge back up with a different jury. But that's not what happened here, because Alvin Bragg, the white supremacist in blackface, he went to the judge and had the judge throw out the manslaughter charge and allowed the jury to deliberate on the lesser charge. Now, think about this. I want you to really think about this. Alvin Bragg went after Jonathan Majors for a lot less and made sure he got a conviction out of it. And Jonathan Majors did absolutely nothing wrong. So if you don't think that he got on code with that white supremacist, then you're out of your freaking mind. If he was able to get a conviction on a man who was running away from his abuser, what makes you think that he wouldn't be able to get a conviction on a manslaughter charge? From everything that happened within this court situation, it's all been white supremacists getting on call with other white supremacists. Even with the whole bringing down a special pathologist and all this other stuff from Texas or whatever, that man's testimony should not have been admissible. Because you have the autopsy report. And then what this man was saying made no sense. He died from sickle cell anemia, an overdose, and schizophrenia. Let me tell you something. My grandmother was diagnosed schizophrenic. Schizophrenia does not do physical harm to your body. It does not affect your lungs. It does not affect your heart. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder, which has nothing to do with your biology. Well, the other parts of your biology. Your brain is a part of your biology. However, it's not going to cause issues like heart conditions, heart troubles, pathway troubles of breathing. It doesn't do that. Nor does sickle cell anemia. My sister has sickle cell anemia. Now, sickle cell anemia causes other problems, but it does not cause heart issues or breathing issues whatsoever. Being choked out does. Let's make that very, very clear. So Alvin should have took the opposing attorney into the chambers with the judge and argued that this man should not be allowed to even testify with the bull stuff that he was saying, because there is no medical evidence of what this man was saying. But no, he got on code with the white supremacist. And a little bit later, I'm going to show you how on code they got with each other. Because to be honest with you, Daniel Penny, that man should be locked all the way under. And not just for the fact that he unalived a person with mental issues, a homeless person with mental issues. That's only a part of why he should be locked all the way under. And I'm going to show you the other part a little bit later. But let's get into some of these videos that I have for you, family. I have a couple clips. So we expected, to be honest with you, many of us expected this outcome, because we saw how on code white supremacy was getting when it came to this case. How they tried to demonize the victim and make the aggressor the victim. So we did see this coming the same way they did with Kyle Rittenhouse. That $1 billion worth of protection that Tariq talks about. You know, Daniel Penny, he raised almost $3 million for his defense. That's white supremacy getting on cold. Now, let's go here. Well, before we go there, I wanted to say this because we may have in the black grassroots expected an outcome like this because of how they were getting on cold. But one thing we didn't expect, which we probably should have because we're going into a new presidential cycle and it's not the Democrats, but Black Lives Matter decided to reemerge from the pits of hell. Hawk Newsom decides to come out and do some very op stuff. This is very oppy of him. This right here is agent activity. And it's not because he decided to come out and speak towards the verdict, but it is because the man chose to make statements that literally changed the situation at hand. So instead of us pointing a finger at the white supremacists and explaining to them how this white supremacist got off was due to their white supremacy and inability to hold their fellow white supremacists accountable, this man wants to come out and start making all these proclamations and saying a bunch of stuff that shouldn't be said, even if you feel that, even if that's absolutely true to be what is necessary. You don't go out and tell your open enemy your plans to get rid of your open enemy. You don't sit down at a chessboard and telegraph your moves on the chessboard. You don't go play basketball and run over to the other team's coach and say, this is what I'm going to do this round. It doesn't work like that. So whether I agree with what this man say or not, and to be honest with you, I don't, he just didn't do it in the right way. Because there's better ways to handle this situation. But let's get into what this man said.
Just like everybody else has vigilantes, we need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Tired.
I know you're looking for us to be like, oh, go and march. Go and march. No. This weekend, I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people hold community events and talk about what you need. Just like everybody else has vigilantes.
So as you heard, family, this man is inciting black vigilantehood, excuse me. And here's the thing. Even if that's what we need, you don't go out on the news and say that, dummy. Real gangsters move in silence. That's just what it is. I'm from LA. I'm from the land of the gangsters, the hustlers. And I ain't never seen a gangster go running his mouth before he went to do anything that needed to be done. especially on the level of which he's speaking. Now, I'm pretty sure that the family listening know a lot of gangsters as well. Probably grew up with them. Probably in your family. Probably some close friends. Have you ever, in your life, seen them go out publicly and act like this man has acted? Or do they just go and handle their business? And they do it on their lonely so that nobody can get queasy and snitch on them. You do your dirt on your own so that you know that you ain't gonna snitch on yourself. Well, at least where I'm from. But this dude is talking the opposite of gangsterism. This dude is over here literally talking like an agent, telegraphing what he believes our moves should be. And that's just idiotic, because what you're doing now, I want you to read these comments that these napkin people are leaving. Right at the top here, Hawk Newsom's goal and objective is to continue to set back race relations in the United States. Instead of us being able to say, hey, no, Daniel Penny just set back race relations in the United States by choking out a black, homeless, mentally ill man. No. George Zimmerman set back race relations. Instead of having that conversation, these people are now out here blaming us for the reaction to their white supremacy. And of course they don't care anyway. They don't give a damn. But you just gave him more bullets for their gun. Before, they didn't have any bullets. And if they did have bullets, they were blanks. And this is what I mean by you can't go out here just speaking any kind of way. The world is watching. I want to get into a couple more comments that was made here about this. Hawk Newsom, or Hawk Tua, wow, as some people are calling him, is the founder of BLM of Greater New York. He should be arrested for inciting violence and terroristic threats. Wow. See, you do notice, family, that they can sit here and call out violent talking, but yet they can't call out a violent criminal after he murders a person in cold blood on camera in our faces. I'm still waiting on BLM to actually help black people instead of enriching themselves with cars and houses. This is coming from a white dude. Let's move on. Hawk Newsom is an evil racist who is inciting violence. Hawk Newsom is a violent racist. He needs to be locked up. Here he assaults cops and gets away with it. These are the people who are trying to reemerge. And it looks real oppy because, one, they're funded by George Soros. Two, they come out of nowhere, and instead of actually talking with sense, they're literally inciting violence on the news. And if you remember, George Soros funds all those other groups like Antifa. He funds white supremacist groups. Let's not forget. So causing more chaos is something you can expect. And that's what this man did by running his big ass mouth. Op behavior. Now, let's get over here to this failure of a football player who couldn't make it to the NFL, so he decided to become a MAGA puppet. Jeffrey Meade. And shout out to KG for posting this. When it pops off, well, just remember, when it pops off, the battlefield will see you for who you are. And I absolutely agree with what he said there. But let's get into what this. Oh man, I don't even know this man. I truly believe this man is a tether because of a lot of the stuff that he says sounds tethery. I know he has a white girlfriend. I've been trying to look into his parents' background. Haven't been able to find too much of nothing as of yet. But everything this man says about this situation really just seems and feels like something a tether would say. And if he's not a tether, he's damn sure coon. He's damn sure Sambo.
We need some black vigilantes.
No, we don't.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Notice it seems like a huge part of what he is saying is about skin color. They want to jump up, who's they, and they want to choke us. Who is us? They is this color, us is this color. I can't believe some of us take this serious. This is not a racial issue. There was more than one race of people helping to restrain him.
First and foremost, if it wasn't a racial issue, the white supremacists wouldn't have got on code and made sure he had $3 million for his defense. If this wasn't a racial issue, the judge would have allowed his confession. If it wasn't a racial issue, you had several people who admitted that Jordan Neely did not assault or harm anyone. He was in a corner screaming to himself. But it wasn't a racial issue.
The reason this happened is because a man came on the subway, was acting menacing, loud, and threatening to the people on the subway to the point where some of them felt they needed to take matters into their own hands to.
So, all about feelings. People heard a man yelling and screaming on the subway, which I'm pretty sure they hear every single day. If you're from New York, you know, but I'm from LA. And I rode the metro rails. Union Station is right on Skid Row. So we see those kind of people on the train all the time. We see them on the buses all the time. And you know why they are not subdued in the way that dude subdued Jordan Neely? It's because it's illegal. You can't just assault someone unless they assault you. And this man is trying to convince you that because other people had feelings, they had all right to assault and help assault and murder a man for it.
To protect themselves and the people around them.
There was no protection needed because he wasn't assaulting anybody. He wasn't harming anybody. And even the threats that he supposedly was throwing out wasn't to anybody. He was in the corner yelling them to himself. You hear a man talk about how hungry he is. That's a threat to you? Him saying he's so hungry, he feels like he might need to kill somebody. Okay, that's a little off-putting, but what you're supposed to do is call the police and let them know there's a man with mental issues who's saying he might kill somebody on this train. And then you allow the police to handle it. But you as civilians, you just don't go in and jump a man. Especially when you see a white man choking that man out. None of the people on that train was foundationally black Americans. None of the people that was holding him down, that is. So the fact that he tried to say multiple people was holding him down, so this isn't a racial thing. No, every single one of you people have a deep-seated hatred for black Americans. Mexicans, Asians, Africans, Caribbeans. Insert group of people here. Every time they come to America, they have this deep-seated hatred. Overall. And we all know you meet some cool people here, cool people there. But when we're talking about the overall shows us overwhelmingly. So for him to say this isn't a race thing, he's being totally disingenuous, excuse me.
The man that was acting threatening happened to be this color. The main individual restraining him happened to be this color. But that doesn't mean this is about race. And us making this about race does nothing but cause division.
First and foremost, Daniel Penny caused division. White supremacists cause division. The laws and the way that they work cause divisions. We have laws on the books right now that are geared targeting black Americans, geared straight towards us. They literally brought in a pathologist to set up a lie in which has never been seen in the medical field before. They did the same thing with that dude from California and the whole affluenza offense. So miss me with this nonsense. This dude, he is literally playing with our intelligence by acting, and he's trying to talk so calm as if he's so knowledgeable. He's just a dumb nigga with a soft voice who lays next to the enemy. So of course, he's trying to protect the enemy. Let's continue.
They didn't get up and choke us. We weren't on the train threatening and scaring people. They did that to him because he was acting a certain way.
So with all the white folk who be running around here acting a certain way, it's okay for us to just run up behind them and choke them out, right? No. Because we see more instances of mentally ill, homeless white men than we do with black men doing anything to anybody. So anytime we see a crazy white man screaming and acting the way they're acting, that gives us warrant to walk up and strangle him until his life leaves his body. That's the dumb stuff that this man is saying. But if a black man actually did do that to a white person, he would be one of the first people trying to make it about race.
And there's no reason for me to get offended on that simply because I had the same skin color as that guy. This is what I'm saying.
See, and we're going to end with him here because this dude is a straight idiot. He didn't choke us, he choked him. He did it as a proxy. Jordan Neely was a proxy for black Americans. That's why everybody got on code for the white supremacist. But this is the nonsense that this idiot is running around here spewing, which makes him no different from this idiot. Just on two polarizing sides. Let's move forward. Shout out to Marcel for this. I have seen a lot of stupid bigots saying these two cases are the same. They are strikingly different. Jordan Williams stabbed a homeless man who was actually attacking people. In this case of Jordan Neely, all witnesses testified that he never threatened or approached anyone. So all the nonsense that these people are running around here talking about, he was threatening people, he was hurting people. All the witnesses testified that he never threatened or approached anyone. Jordan Neely was murdered simply because people felt scared. This is going to backfire, and it will be on the ones celebrating this injustice, and I 100% agree. This is the picture that people's been floating around. The brother who was protecting his fiance on the right, and a criminal who got away with his crimes on the left. If y'all remember, when this first happened, they hid all the information about Daniel Penny. They hid his whole identity. They didn't put out a mugshot until the streets forced their hand. I remember that. And I remember it clear as day. You don't do that for an innocent person. You do that when you're getting on code for white supremacy. Every situation from his arrest to his acquittal has been white supremacists getting on code with each other. Deliberately removing information from the case, deliberately hiding information from the case, and deliberately bringing in liars in order to garner the desired outcome. Oh, family. I want to play this. One of our brothers posted this. And what he said in this was just so correct that I want to include it. Let's read the caption first. Notice the entire world is against FBA. Everybody's freaky, from Jim Morrison to Elvis to Woody Allen and so many others. Notice they would rather incarcerate black freaks while setting the white supremacist killer free. Projection of him in these pics and what's coming. Stay on code. All right, let's get into this video, family.
I got my folks saying, gee, the winner again. Look at that picture. You don't even need to see my face. Look at that picture. And all these white people are saying, and Mexicans and Asians and all these non-FBA people are saying, I can't believe you guys are putting your lives on the line and all this and reputation for this. These people do these foul things, but look at the white man. See the picture? See both of his pictures? And they condone that. They condone that. You see? If you watch the devil do, then you're the devil too, right? Okay, those two niggas and these niggas who be doing this shit, okay, you can go to treatment, you can go to jail, you can, you know what I mean? But this motherfucker took lives. He will take your fucking life, and everybody just looks at him like it's just okay, right? FBA, look at this picture. If you're a non-FBA person, you don't have a fucking thing to say about anybody that's a foundational Black American. All you pussies have been buying these people's music and buying their concerts and shirts, and the first minute they fall off, all of a sudden they're pieces of shit. But while you let a killer go, while you making excuses for Kyle Rittenhouse, while you making excuses for the white boy who had nigger and shit written on his fucking gun and went in and blasted a whole bunch of us. Yes, us. Look in the picture. That's us. That's one of us. They don't talk about how Jordan was a mental guy, right? He was on medication. They all knew this shit, but nobody talks about that just to substantiate that. See what I'm saying? Like, we deserve to fucking die. You see? So if you don't got shit to say about these killers, if you don't got shit to say about shit like this, and you want to fucking try to incarcerate the freaks instead of the murderers, y'all can kiss my ass. We have no friends but ourselves. None. None at all. This cat will take your life and needs to go to hell. But all these motherfuckers are worried about putting a couple freaks in jail.
100, family. Tell me where's the lie. Point out the lie in the room if there is one. But there isn't. Our brother kept it 100 on that. And let me go ahead and repost that up. Yeah. Our brother kept it 100 on that. Y'all out here so concerned about Diddy. Y'all out here concerned about Jay-Z. With no evidence. With absolutely zero proof. And zero victims. But yet, Daniel Penny, y'all want to put on the protector cape for. Where we have video evidence of this man unaliving one of our brothers. But Cat Williams, he said it best earlier this year, all lies will be exposed. All lies will be exposed. And if you take it the wrong way, we understand why you take it the wrong way. Let's move on, family. Family said this is the clapback of the day. So Annette Albright, she goes on to say, so those attacks happened the same day, according to what I heard, and I could have missed something. Jordan had a violent criminal history and repeatedly stated that someone was going to die that day. I would really love to hear Tariq's take. So now that we know that the witnesses said that that didn't happen, why in the world are you even bringing up his past criminal history? His criminal history has nothing to do with the situation at hand. And that's how you know that they're trying to throw dirt on somebody's name, because instead of sitting there looking for the history of the criminal who killed him, they're throwing dirt and smut on the victim's history, on the victim's name. None of that is relevant. The same way none of that would be submissible in court, none of that is relevant. Be serious. Our brother came in with the clapback of the day. Let's see. Schizophrenics often have unpredictable reactions. Should we choke and kill them all off based on their episode? Plus, if past behaviors is the basis for vigilante intervention, every white man in America would probably be killed. Hey, where is the lie? People like Jasmine Crockett gets on my nerves, and this is the point that I'm coming to. We're rounding off around the way. We got a few more things to get into. This happened in a Democratic state with a Democratic governor, a Democratic DA. And this happened. So while Congresswoman Crockett here want to talk about how Jordan Neely was unarmed, he needed support and care. Instead, he received a death sentence. His family grieves while the man who took his life walked free. It happened in a Democratic state, under a Democratic governor, under a Democratic DA. And under all that, under a Democratic president, because Biden is still president right now. So all that Project 2025 nonsense, they're showing you in real time that Project 2025 isn't just an issue that we supposedly have to look out for. We've already been going through it. And it's extending past law enforcement, because this man is not law enforcement whatsoever. He wasn't even supposed to get involved. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. So Jasmine can save the nonsense that she's coming with. And I'm going to read this right here because I want you to see the nonsense that readers, which means regular people, came in and switched the damn narrative. Penny was found not guilty by a jury which agreed with the finding of the defense pathologist that Daniel Penny did not take Nilly's life. Nilly was in fact alive when the officers showed up to the scene long after Penny had released Nilly, which is a lie. Which is a lie. We went through the whole damn case. And the police officers didn't say that he was still breathing when they got there. No, he was gone. That's why they had to perform what? CPR. Then Jasmine goes on to say, this is more than a miscarriage of justice. It is a green light for more violence against unarmed Black Americans. Well, you're sitting in the party that's allowing it to go down. When y'all had the opportunity to pass protections, an anti-Black hate crime bill, y'all didn't. Y'all passed it for Asian Americans. Y'all passed protections for Native Americans. Y'all didn't pass no protections for Black Americans. And y'all been seeing this in the past 4 years. Y'all screaming about Project 2025, but y'all not doing anything to protect the people from Project 2025. If anything, Joe Biden ushered in Project 2025. These people, family. Let's get into what the father had to say.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Family, the system is rigged. And we know that. So when we see outcomes like this, where white supremacy from the jump, from the arrest all the way to the acquittal, got on code, then there is nothing left to say. But make sure you keep your power tools with you. And if you can't carry your power tools, you find you something that is of lethal force, so that things like this will not happen to you. Because the system is corrupt. The system is a joke. Now, family, earlier I said I wanted to show you all the other side of why Daniel Penny should be locked all the way under. So let's get there. This right here is what I was talking about when I said he shouldn't have even touched that young man. The Posse Comitatus Act. And what is the Posse Comitatus Act, you ask? Well, let's get into it, shall we? The Posse Comitatus Act bars federal troops from participating in civilian law enforcement except when expressly authorized by law, which he was not. This 143-year-old law embodies an American tradition that sees military interference in civilian affairs as a threat to both democracy and personal liberty. Let me reread that for you. This 143-year-old law embodies an American tradition that sees military interference in civilian affairs as a threat to both democracy and personal liberty. So that man was not supposed to touch anybody. This man should be brought up on federal crimes for breaking this 143-year-old law. Because he committed a threat to both democracy and Jordan Neely's personal liberty. This was here before I was here, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't create this law last night. So the mere fact that that man got an acquittal, even though he broke this 143-year-old law, oh, you better be prepared for what's to come for all you white supremacists. Because if Trump do utilize the military, guess what power you just gave them? Guess what president has just been set? See, when we said that you're going to want to convict Daniel Penny, or the backlash is going to be louder than the crime itself, we meant it. And a lot of people just took it as we was talking about ourselves. No. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. Daniel Penny going away for manslaughter should have just been the tip of the iceberg. Once you got under the water, this should have been the biggest part of the iceberg. The fact that he broke this 143-year-old law and created a threat to both democracy and Jordan Neely's personal liberty. All of this under the Democratic Party. A threat to democracy came in a Democratic state, under a Democratic governor, under a Democratic DA, under a Democratic president. A threat to democracy and personal liberty. And the person who created that threat was acquitted. Family. Like I said, trying to save face. And if you don't think that they were trying to save face, or that they are trying to save face, on the 2nd of December, this article dropped. Former Illinois deputy charged with Sonia Massey's killing could be released as he awaits trial. Spoiler alert, he was released. And this is in Illinois. This is in Illinois. So, 2 out of the big 3 Democratic states, the big 3 Democratic states, if you don't know, is New York, Illinois, and California. So out of the two of the big three Democratic states, two of them are actively working against the people who were victims and crimes committed against them, while they're protecting the victimizers, the criminals who committed these crimes. Now tell me, family, tell me, should Sean Grayson be walking the streets, or should he be locked the hell up for what he did to Sonia Massey? Really, that's not even the question. The same way Daniel Penny should be locked up for what the hell he did to Jordan Neely. But family, I wanted to bring this to you today. I wanted to talk about these things because if we wasn't handing them all these damn L's, you wouldn't see things like this so gung-ho. You wouldn't see all these people out here getting on cold white supremacy in the way that they are in these democratic states if we wasn't handing the Democrats L after L after L. And so they're trying to save face. And they're doing it with their actions before they leave office. And that's all fine and dandy, to be honest with you. Because the black grassroots, we've been sitting here peeling back the mask that the Democratic Party has been placing on itself to make itself look like our friend. And we've been saying it, that they were just as racist as the people on the other side of the aisle, just as racist as the Republicans. Two wings on the same dirty ass pigeon. So when these people come back to you in 2 years, a year and a half, you be sure to remind them of this. Because they had every opportunity to pass an anti-black hate crime bill and didn't. They had every opportunity to actually do something for black Americans. They didn't. And the Democratic Party is going to wither on the vine. And we're going to let them. We're going to let them. Until they realize they got to stop biting the hand that feeds them. Stop biting the hand that puts them in the White House. Because ain't nobody else going to put the Democrats in the White House. We're the only people that can get that done. That's why they're running around here trying to put together coalitions. And each coalition shows they ass to the Democrats and walk away. They walk away in buttless chaps like Prince had. And on the back of their shirt, it says, "Kiss this," Democrats, with an arrow pointing down to the buttless chap area. Well, that's why they hate us so much, because we are the people that can put them in the White House, and we are the people that can remove them as well, as you just saw in this last election. But you tell me, family, You tell me. Does this seems like they're trying to save face? Does it seem like the white supremacists are trying to save face? I would submit to you that it does. And with that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please go to change.org. Click that link in the description, of course. Put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, make sure you're protecting yourself at all times, family. Make sure you're teaching your children about protection. Learn some form of martial arts or self-protection. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. All I'm going to say is make sure you do it so you can protect you and yours. Because these next 4 years, it's going to be very, very interesting, family. Very, very interesting. But with that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, fam.